Heat wave, I tell you. It's a heat wave. All right. Let's go see what we got going on. Strip the nose off that Tacoma. And the Weiss 4Runner is very similar to it. And I figure I'd just do a little peekaboo. You can kind of see the lines at that one. This upper rad support, the distances apart. You look down below, and one thing I want to kind of point out, if you can get you on the camera, right? If you look at the end of that frame rail there, pay attention to where that hole is, right? And then you see in front there's another whole section that is bolted onto it. Let's see it. Bolted onto it, and then it continues on towards the bumper, and there's a bunch of the bumper support. So look at that, and remember these holes. Squeeze through. Holes on this side. You kind of see that there's let me get a light on you. Zoom back out. You can kind of see where the rad support. There's a seam right there, right there. There's no seam sealer in there. Can't see the corners. Look good, there's no seam sealer in any of those corners. Now let's go see what we got on this thing. Again, this car was hit twice. Hit in the nose. Or hit something twice, I should say. And unfortunately, if this accident wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Oh, radio's still on. I got 20 seconds. 18, 17. All right. So, first is you can kind of see that the that hood line is not matching the hood. See, I can flip this guy up. Hold on one second. There's a view up there, guys. All right. So, as you can see in the front here, you can kind of see where that hole was, and then it went out to that bracket point right here, and then there was the whole rest of it that attached to the front bumper. That was just cut right off of the Sawzall. And the only thing that was holding it was these brackets on the outside here, unfortunately. So that's missing. You can see the mush and the rest of it, how much of it's been pushed out. You can see a bunch of weld marks from the back side where I don't know if they replaced this rad support. I have a feeling they did, because it looks like where all the welds are was redone. You can tell that those were spot welds were redone. So you can see down in there, you can see all the seam sealer down in the cracks down in there, and again back there on that firewall, all this stuff, whatever was done on here, so whatever probably got tagged on this side. And then you can kind of see there's a weld and an addition right here. And normally there would be a hole right through that, and that would be your alignment points. When Toyota puts them together, you're looking for a straight hole. And you can see that. And again on this side doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's on. And I think this one was on too. So this side doesn't look bad, but that's probably the side it got tagged on, probably on an angle. Right now, if you run a tape measure across the nose, the back of my hand is the nose, is kicked this way a ½ inch, so the whole thing is over that way a ½ inch. So I'm going to take it and jig up the front of it and start pulling on it and try to get the stuff kind of straight in the front and see where it lines up, and then I gotta shift the whole nose over. You also see too, you can kind of see it right here. These are your front, I guess you can call it cab mounts, but there should be a bolt going right through there with rubber, and you can see the hole, so you can see the center of that, and you can see where the center where the hole is. They do not match up, so that's, again, you can see how far it kicked over that way it is. Whether they popped out after the accident or they were just left out from the last time. I think they were left out from the last time. And again, the same thing over here. You can see that's where your hole is. You can see that's where your center is. So I don't even think you can get the camera down there. You can see how far off it is. So if I get the nose to walk back that far, I have a feeling everything will kind of come back into play. Even things like it's missing the bolts in the back of the hood. So unfortunately, it seemed like it was a cleanup after a crash and just kind of flipped at some point in its life. But it doesn't look terrible, you know. It is what it is. Again, get the core, the condenser is pretty much gone, but the AC charger's already out of it anyway. They're not worried about that. And unfortunately, he ordered a radiator, but he ordered the wrong size. This one's 2 inches too short. You can see the difference down there. So I have to pick up another one of those tomorrow. We're kind of looking to see if it would fit, but the fan shroud's not going to make it. I mean, if you had to, you could, but yeah, that's what the pieces line up. All the hoses and for the transmission would have to go through it. This would have to go through it, so we're gonna just get another one. All right. Well, we got new parts. Got a new fan. Got a bunch of boxes of marker lights and headlights, and got a bunch of brackets in here. Not quite sure what we're looking at. That's the bumper support right there. Not sure what that is. And looks like the bumper support on the other side. Yeah. And these are, they don't say. They're an item. I think these are for the sides. What holds the sides out on the side markers. I don't know what those are yet neither. They don't look familiar. Oh, you know what those are? For the inserts for the grill, I think. I think those are these right there. And in the back of the truck, got a new bumper, a new grill, and a new lower balance to install. And here's the pieces that was holding the bumper, but there's a whole nother assembly that kind of comes down in here that it's missing. So, alright guys, I figured I'd just do a little in the middle of it. I'm gonna go get this thing jigged up and start tugging on it and see if I can get her relatively straight. Again, thanks for watching, comment, and subscribing. Take care, bye.